Hello guys, Bongo here. This is going to be a brand new series based off the live streams I do over on twitch.tv/BongoBoingo. You should definitely check that out because this is where a majority of this footage is going to come from. As you know, I am sort of an achievement hunter. Trophies on PlayStation, achievements on Xbox. However, I didn't start that way, so as you see, I don't have a lot of 100%. But I would like to fix that, and that's what this series is about. It's going to be me going through older games and obtaining all the trophies and achievements I can. If they're unobtainable, can't do anything about it. That platinum or that 100% just can't be done. The first episode is Assassin's Creed Revelations on the Xbox 360. This episode is only going to be based on the Lost Archive DLC because in the best of March of this year, I got the 100% in Assassin's Creed Revelations. Can't do the multiplayer achievement because multiplayer shut down, but this is the journey of getting the Lost Archive 100% of this game. I hope you enjoy. If you do like this kind of content, let me know because I want to keep this going, as I do want to clean up a bunch of achievements and trophies for my accounts. So, to start this episode, I will say something that is very cool about this game specifically. This game was the first ever game I got an achievement in, and it does make me sad because if I had just committed to the multiplayer when I was a kid, I maybe could have actually gotten the 100% in this game. It's, however, the point, as we are here to play the Lost Archive story. First thing on my mind was I was going to go through this DLC blind first and experience it, as I've never done this before. After that, if I didn't get any of the miscellaneous or collectible achievements, I was going to go through and do that on a second playthrough or any other playthroughs that it took me. We start this DLC off in such a great way. The first jumping obstacle, I failed 3 times in a row. So, you know, that spelled good means for me doing this. After dealing with me being incompetent at jumping, we then proceed on to the actual meat and potatoes of this DLC, the story of it. In this DLC, we're playing as Subject 16, otherwise known as Clay. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his last name because I'm really bad with remembering it, and it's a long word. So we're just going to refer to him as Clay. It reveals his infiltration of the Abstergo's Animus Project and his role in becoming a mole for the assassins. This DLC also shows the downside, what the bleeding effect is, which was so cool to play and like look at that concept of the bleeding effect. The DLC also explores Abstergo's true motivation for wanting to explore genetic memories and their plan for the Apple of Eden. But this DLC is definitely about seeing the struggle that Clay had to deal with, his struggle to find purpose, his sacrifice, and the attempt to guide Desmond towards the truth. The first achievement I unlocked in this DLC was actually one of the miscellaneous ones that I didn't even know was actually a thing. I went and dropped and caught myself with a block and unlocked the Save Yourself achievement, which you unlock after falling 25 meters and landing on a block. So that put me in a great mood for the rest of this blind playthrough. We then proceeded to the end of this memory, which took me an embarrassing amount of time. Honestly, platforming makes me feel so dumb. If you want to watch the entire struggle, I definitely recommend going and watching the entirety of this VOD. That is on YouTube. Link will be in the description below. But After this memory, we do come across the first non-missable story-based achievement, and that is for taking the leap of faith, which is just falling in the hole. It unlocks the part of the Creed achievement. On to memory 3, and this memory is all about breaking into Abstergo and getting intel. All in all, the missions are very hit or miss unless you like these puzzles slash platforming sections. You should absolutely play this DLC and the Desmond levels for sure, just because it does give you a bunch of story. This level does grant you the new block, a new power-up, which is when you stand on it and jump, you jump really high. With this new block, you unlock your next achievement, the Jump They Say achievement, which you unlock for reaching the first Animus memo. After we grab the memo, however, bad things do happen. An alarm goes off, and we are forced to run and escape. The unfortunate part about this escape is my controller died, which led to this. My controller just fucking died. Hold up. Hold the phone. Relax. Everybody, calm down. I died. That didn't count. That doesn't count. I couldn't save myself there. I then spent a few minutes fighting with the Xbox to recapture audio, as once my controller died, it took away audio. So, all in all, Xbox is a great console. Once we solved the audio issues though, we did move on and escape Abstergo and moved on to Memory 4, which is titled The Mole. This memory takes you through how Lucy was working for the Assassins and is going to get Clay in to be a part of the Animus project. It takes you on his journey into getting to be a part of this dangerous project, but most importantly, it had me experience one of my biggest nerd out moments ever on stream. Holy shit, man, this is the room! This is the room! Ah, this is so cool! Wait, can I go into the bedroom? Hold up. Ah. After you do fall through the hole in the middle of the room, you unlock the next achievement, titled Enter the Animus. We then proceeded on to some more puzzles and more backstory of Clay, and some of these puzzles troubled me. Not really puzzles, more like platforming, but either way, I was still terrible at these. After struggling through and finally completing these areas, it moved us on to Memory 5, the memory I was looking forward to the most, titled The Bleeding Effect. The reason I was so hyped for this is because I was so excited to watch Clay's mind break and the experience of what the bleeding effect really is. A little TLDR of the bleeding effect, of what the bleeding effect is. When you're stuck in the Animus for too long and have too many sessions, your mind does start to break, and you start to see things. This will be explained in future achievement / trophy cleanup videos when I go through other Assassin's Creed games to clean those up. This memory was, however, the shortest level, which really bums me out. But it does reveal this. What's this?
Lucy, this is where your background comes into play. If our experiments with Desmond and the Animus aren't going well, you will remove him from Abstergo. Take him somewhere he will feel comfortable divulging his secrets. Your assassins should do the trick. Since Desmond will be reading our emails, We will ensure that secret communications between you and the assassins go through unimpeded. Once you are embedded, I will come to pick up the Animus tapes. Make sure to look very upset. You need to be convincing. Desmond will lead you to the apple, and then you bring it right to us. We're counting on you, Lucy. You have served the Templar Order well, and we never forget loyalty. Oh, yes. Once inside their hideout, perhaps you might ask the assassins why they left you alone for so many years.
Oh shit! It's the confirmation that Lucy was a Templar. Now, this twist actually being revealed is really cool. But I did have one problem with it. Why? Why in this DLC? I get that this DLC is great, and knowing the story of Subject 16 is fantastic. But I would have liked to know this in, I don't know, the mind of, like, maybe Desmond finding this out? And having an actual angry moment instead of the tiny moment he has later in the series when he does find out. But, whatever. I can't tell Ubisoft what to do. Clearly, since look at what they've done to the Assassin's Creed series as of late. This does lead us on to the next memory, which will also be the home to one of the most annoying achievements. We'll talk about that later. This memory is about Clay having to come to reality that he is now going to be a messenger for Desmond, and the way that Desmond will know what is happening in the future. This level had some of the most complicated platforming jumps, by the way, and the laser placements were honestly very annoying. But after dealing with all that, we do get to the end of the memory and walk through the door, which unlocks us the Loop achievement, which is obtained through beating the Lost Archive. Now that the blind playthrough is done, it is time for the cleanup. Now, luckily for the collectibles, I was picking up any collectibles I saw during the blind playthrough, so I only had to go back through a couple levels to collect some more. When I did collect the final 5 that I was missing, I did unlock the Find All Pieces achievement. This achievement actually does come in handy. Getting all these collectibles comes in handy for another achievement later. Hey, pause the video. When writing the script and rewatching the VOD, I missed one thing. You get the Meet the Maker achievement for finishing Memory 5. So, yeah. Good job, Tristan. Time to proceed on to the rest of this video, but hey, if you like this video, you should like it. Come on, it takes 1 second. It is now time for one of the hardest achievements in this DLC, and that is to cross the River Styx without falling into it. This is done in Memory 7, and the reason this is so annoying in my opinion, is if you end up touching the river, you have to restart the level, and it's a good 5-ish minutes, maybe to get back to the river, and try again. 5 minutes doesn't seem like a lot of time, but when you have to reset 5 to 6 times, that time does add up. But after a few attempts of trying and failing, we did end up getting lucky. Not after me almost messing this up. Oh. 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 Okay, okay. Okay. We ended up completing the run and unlocking Crossed Styx without dying achievement. And needless to say, I was quite happy. Let's go! Yes! Now, the next achievement is also quite annoying. It is completing Memory 4 without dying once. Now, this is only difficult if you're trying to do it legit. Which, if you do, congrats! You are stronger and you have more willpower than me. But with your constant headaches that you get from doing things the hard way, I'll be over in that corner, glitching through the map and walking to the end of the level. Yes, there is a glitch in this level where if you spawn blocks in a certain way and continue to walk forward, you will glitch through the wall and can walk to the end of the level. And once you reach the end of the level, you will unlock the Impress Warren Vidic achievement. Now, should you do this legit? Maybe. But if you want to just get the achievement, this is the way to do it without stressing about this very annoying and difficult task, as this is the hardest achievement in the DLC to get legit. This now leads to the last achievement of the DLC. And this is where those collectibles come into play. If you have collected all the Decipher blocks, then in Memory 5, a secret path will open up. And the secret path will lead you to a different ending of the expansion. Once you walk across the pathway and watch the email get sent, you will unlock the final achievement of this expansion, titled Breaking the Loop. Now, in conclusion, am I upset that I cannot complete this game? Yes. But was this DLC enjoyable? Absolutely. This was very nice to hear the story of Clay and getting to know what happened and experiencing what he did. The DLC was short, which also did help with my enjoyment with it. The DLC, for me, to complete took me about 2.5 hours. The difficulty of the 100% was maybe a 3 out of 10. The hardest achievement for sure was crossing the sticks without dying. And would I recommend this for you? 100%. This was very, very good. Now, stay tuned, as the next episode we're going to go to a PS3 title, something I've been working on stream. Also, I started working in the best of March of this year. So join us for the next episode of this, when we be looking at Anarchy Reigns. I hope you enjoyed this little episode. Little preview episode. Next episode might be a little bit longer because I do have to complete that game on hard. But if you do enjoy this, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what games you would like me to maybe throw in this series of achievement trophy cleanup. I don't know if that's the name that's gonna stick. I gotta find a more clever name for that. Anyway, I'm rambling. Have a good night. Goodbye.